Hello, good morning. Welcome to the Heart's Frontier. This is Kate Graham. And if this is your first time watching, then welcome. And I'm happy to have you here. Please make sure that you are liked and subscribed. That way we can see each other again if you like this content. Obviously, you don't have to do that if you don't like it. And I'm going to do a weekly reading. So today is February 1st. So this is going till February 7th. And I'm going to use the Goddess Guidance cards. This is going to be a pick a card, so not keeping things different like last time. Last time was sort of just, sort of just stuck in there. So this week we're using Mawu as pile 1, Dana as pile 2, High Priestess, and then pile 3 is Aphrodite. So Mawu is Mother Earth, Dana is High Priestess, and Aphrodite is Inner Goddess. So pick a card. Okay, and as always, if you want to listen to all the different messages you can just tune in and out to which things resonate with you. I know that there is a bunch of watchers who do that, so if that's your style, then feel free. You don't have to pick a card just because I told you. All right, Mawu is pile number 1, so we're going to move on to that now. Mawu. All right, so what guidance does pile 1 need to hear this week? So you're getting called upon to help with environmentalism, and I'm also getting the feeling this week that you're going to put an end to some sort of negative behavior or habit. It feels like some sort of toxic habit is going to be what you are dealing with. Maybe you just take one step towards ending that behavior. And if you're, it could be something to do with, using substances. It could be to do with food. I also am getting the feeling, though, that for this group, it might also just be mental patterns, and you might be almost like addicted to a certain way of thinking, or thinking, thinking that there's only one way to think, that it feels like maybe limited thinking. All right, so for this group, I'm just pulling cards, and then I'm going to kind of read and see what happens, because it feels like I need to see more messages at once. This definitely has to do with money. And it's interesting actually to think about the connection between earth and environmentalism and money and abundance. And you might not be able to like draw a quick line, A to B. But if you are feeling called to help support the earth and support the world, and you also feel like you don't have enough money to do that, that's something that I've been hearing from a lot of people lately. It's like, oh, I would, but I can't do that. Then really what you need to focus on, right, is you feeling at home and safe in the world. So it's an interesting thing that when we feel unsafe and we want to help the world and do better with it, that sometimes actually we're wanting that for ourselves. And so sort of projecting it with the earth or feeling it at the same time as the earth is feeling that. And so you may then block yourself from receiving the money that you need to do the good things in the world that you need to do, because you're not applying, you're not applying it to yourself also. So there's no need to be a martyr in a situation like this. Really, you need to be fully supported so that you can go on and continue helping the world. It may be that supported for you only looks like a certain amount of money. It may look like you just have a home base. It may look like anything. It could look like a really, really comfortable life, and then that's when you'll be able to expand and do more work. So it does say, reaching your destination, your light is shining brightly. So I do feel like some sort of, maybe if you already have an idea of the types of things you'd like to do to give back to the world, or to give, to get yourself in, it's like giving back to the world and getting yourself in financial alignment feels like the same issue to me with this pile. So let me know if that resonates with you. Actually, I would love to know if that whole bit is sort of feeling clear to you. So you have this archetype character here, the prostitute, and also the trickster. The prostitute here, the shadow attribute, places material considerations and security above self-empowerment. And the light attribute is accentuating the challenge of surviving without negotiating the power of your spirit. So this is a really, really interesting card. I've long since been fascinated by this card. So the shadow attribute being that you place, materials, money, abundance in whatever way you're sort of lining it up, but also just the physical items and what it looks like to be abundant in your mind, material considerations. you're placing all of that above your own growth. And the thing is, you're not going to actually get those things unless you focus on your growth, because it's the grown version of you that is receiving those things. So if you've had an idea and you think, oh, you know what, I really want this thing to happen in my life, which means that this amount of money will come in if I'm seeing this to be true. And often when we have dreams and things that we really want to do with our lives, they're things that are true, that are just happening, in the future. So we get the idea to inspire us, and then we are able to create that in the real world. Which reminds me, I'm going to have some sort of content coming out soon about chakras, the path to manifestation, and then the path to self-enlightenment, and how they're, one and the same, but also applied differently. I'm going to create a video about that soon, so I will let you all know where and how that will be available. I think it would be really beneficial for this group, so that's just why I'm mentioning it. The trickster character transcends convention, stuffiness, and predictable behavior, and the shadow is manipulating others through duplicity. So I'm getting the sense that for this group, you might have tried manipulating the situation that you're thinking about and sort of fallen short. It almost feels like you may have tried older patterns of trying to manipulate or sort or even negotiate with this situation that you're currently in. And those things aren't working now. So that's what's got you feeling scared. Like you're sort of the old ways that you used to make money are now not as viable. So this week you're going to be taking a look at, I think honestly, you're going to just be focusing a lot on abundance and what that means to you, what that looks like. Something that I would also like to put out there is when we're so used to working with money mindset or, career goals or abundance, just thinking about all these different things so much and, the massive amount of content that's out there to help us shape our, better money mindset. Sometimes we get away from the idea that it's not just money and cash, right? Like I think that's something that a lot of people do that's quite limiting when you're trying to create some sort of circumstance for your life. It's not ask for the money so that you can do this one specific thing. It's really like asking for the doors to be opened so that that thing can come to you. So for an example, I have like so many examples of this actually. For an example, when you are looking towards say a move, all right, you're looking towards moving somewhere, and in that time you don't really know what call is going to be the right one or the best one, but when you focus in on your intuition and what feels right, it feels as though actually for this group, this is, sorry, I'm getting off track there because I'm getting something else coming in here. I'm getting for this group that it's really about showing to yourself that you can live an unconventional life and be safe. That's what it's really, really feeling like with this group. Okay, I just got this card, Sacred Space, so that just confirmed that for me. So yeah, it really feels like almost creating a new sense of home for yourself in the world. So you might be doing a lot of root chakra stuff, sacral healing, as far as how much you can receive abundantly. But yeah, thinking about, what can come in that isn't just money. I'm going back to that idea now. If you were looking for a place to move and, you were coming up short, you weren't finding anything, but you knew you needed this, this, and this. These are the, three things you needed in a place. And then, maybe there's other non-negotiables or whatever as you're looking. And you don't see anything coming up for your price range with those things. And so you start thinking, oh, it might just not be possible. But then, you decide, you just feel compelled to go pick up something from, a local coffee shop, and someone happens to have put a sign up and they're looking for, someone to rent their place, say short term, and has all those things that you need, right? And so you go, well, I wouldn't have thought of this being the right direction, but because I trusted my impulse to, because I trust my impulse to step forward and see maybe there's, maybe there's like no way that you could get to your destination unless you focus on your own growth. So because you focus on your own growth and listening to yourself, right? You always know where you really would feel like growing. You don't have to be told by someone else most of the time. Because you stepped into that, then that opened up a doorway. So do you see how that works, right? It's not just about thinking about money specifically or cash specifically. It's thinking about all the different channels and doorways or, tunnels. Do you think about if you ever played, I'm getting a vision of Mario, the game, Super Mario, and you jump up into the tunnels and you just never know where that's going to lead you. And it could lead you down the right path or not, but you don't really ever know until you get there. So the whole point is just returning to the present moment and acting from where you currently have the ability to act from, and continuing to intuit and be curious about what is on your heart and mind, and what's coming in the future. So that's a pretty decently sized reading for a weekly reading for you, pile one. So environmentalism, thinking about your nature as a person and also nature itself and how you'd like to give back, how you'd like to help. Maybe it's just going to pick up trash. Maybe it's donating somewhere. Maybe it's being involved in some sort of community support system that helps with cleaning up the earth or something like that. Or maybe it's a much larger project that you get to down the line, but it's just taking action on yourself and your own self-growth this week that allows you to be able to also open up doorways for that other larger purpose that you're here. So your light is shining brightly, infinite abundance, right? It's on its way. It's here. You're actually already aware of it, which is the fascinating piece here, pile one. So thank you very much. Excited to see what happens for you this week. Please drop a comment below. Let me know. Let me know if this resonates, if this is what you've been focusing on, or if you have any questions. I'm always happy to help. So you can book a session with me down below. I'm glad I remembered to say this actually. I've got a February love reading special because I just figure a lot of people will likely want love readings this month and relationship readings or things like that. So if you want to book that, I have a special for that for the month of February. I may do something, special for February 14th itself, maybe for singles, doing some readings, potentially pay what you can. I'm not really sure. I'm just going to wait for Spirit to kind of tell me, and it'll be sort of a week of thing, and we'll just see what happens. So I will let you know about that. But for right now, February love readings are on. They're just specifically that. You can find them on my website in the link below. Okay, we're moving on to pile number 2, Dana, High Priestess. Pile number 2, okay. Says, you have divine knowledge that can help others through your spiritual teaching. So if you didn't listen to pile 1, it might honestly relate to you, because we're sort of talking about getting into this leadership position. Although I believe pile 2, you might be a little bit further ahead than pile 1. Sorry, one of these cards dropped. Okay. So, yeah, this feels like a really, really uplifted vibe. Not that the other one didn't. The other one's fine, but I'm just feeling this week like this group is going to party. It just feels like things are going well for you, that, you're actually just really, really focusing on leadership, teaching, on sharing your message. Standing up as a leader is feeling really, really clear for this group, which is so exciting. There's room for you. There's room for all of us. We need a lot more light leaders in this world being vocal. We do. Okay. Pile 2, I'm also getting the feeling like you're feeling pulled in lots of different directions. So as much as you're actually, I feel like the practice or the test for you right now is standing in your own truth, your power, and your own faith, your own sense that things are working out well. Because listening to other things going on, you might be tempted to doubt your own success. That's what I'm hearing. That by talking to others, you might actually be limiting your own beliefs here. So keep things internally when you know that you're fairly aligned and fairly in the flow, and just that little bit of restraint or containment actually allows the energy to sort of if you were a container, it sort of pings in between and sort of builds more intensive energy. So this isn't to say you're not allowed to share any of the good things that are happening with anyone, but some of the ideas that you're still working on, I would say keep them safe, keep them sacred for you, because they'll be able to build more energy in that safe container of not being shared and put out for other people's opinions. So I believe that there's some sort of project which might be a bit of a risk for you. It might be like if you decide to move forward with this project, it could go well, or it could be a waste of your energy or time. And because that's precious for you right now, it might feel like if you're to do it, you really have to know whether it's going to be successful before you do it. So first off, that's actually not necessary, because this is a very basic thing they tell you, when you're growing up in school and things like that. But, you always are learning from your mistakes. But I just feel like we forget this when we're older. We start holding ourselves to a different standard and expecting a lot of ourselves. Even when there's a lot of things happening in our life, we expect the exact same a lot of the time, just naturally, unless we sort of get in the way of that. So you're getting reminded this week just to continue observing yourself and to actually pay attention to those ebbs and flows that you do go in, but know that all the work that you've been putting in is paying off right now. It is paying off. You are seeing a lot of good things. Freedom, and we also have loss. So it's sort of two sides of the same coin here. I'm actually feeling like the loss is the loss of things that were in your life before you started having more success and fulfillment, personal fulfillment. P.S. If you don't have a tea and you've been watching since the first one, you should go grab one and keep yourself cozy. So freedom and loss. It does say also on this loss card, it says sometimes you learn true offering through loss. So it might also be that, what do you need? Yeah, anywhere. They're in the bags right there. Right on the wall to the coat hooks to the left of both of you. And there's hats in the bags hanging up. And there's, yeah, should be tons of them. The purple one is warmer, but okay. Yeah. Enjoy your walk. Sorry about that. Okay. Pal T, you also might need to get outside. You also might need to bundle up because I just mentioned tea and then my mother just asked for a hat. So you might need warmth. You might need bundling up. We take everything as a sign. Okay. So also with freedom, it's like releasing you from bonds. So I am getting with this group because you've been doing so well. It actually is almost hard for your mind to wrap around the fact that you're actually doing well now and you only really have a few, like there's only a little bit left on this loading bar for this current chapter or this current period of growth in your life. So that's very fascinating. And then I loved this. We have dance and music, celebration and harmony. And we have divine guidance and answered prayer. So don't these kind of all go together, right? Like music, harmony, dance, celebration. It feels like that's all of this same energy that I've been feeling since we started here. And then answered prayer and divine guidance being really, if you're sending out, it's almost like you send out this wisdom and they receive, and you send out and they receive, and it just keeps going back and forth and back and forth. And as you sort of go through this week, I just sort of want to remind you to maintain that energy, really keep that moving, moving on and up. Just want to make sure that you're not feeling as though you go right back into, old habits. Okay. And, oh, this is nice. So I just pulled 3 Whispers of Love cards thinking, things are going pretty well for this group. Really just kind of want to affirm and continue bringing you back to your heart so that this is where you stay. Because the more that you stay here, the more and more you're going to see of weeks like this, which is so exciting. And so we have the Union of Hearts, which is a really, really special card. I love that one. It says, a love connection defies explanation. So yeah, if things are also going well for you, or potentially there's a love situation coming in too, please don't feel like you need to explain it to anyone. You are the one who knows your heart and your mission here on earth, and no one else really has the ability to sense that and know that for you fully. Even though people like me, we can try, we can help, we can guide and shape. You're the one who gets to steer that ship and keep you on course. You're also getting do something for someone. So it might be, you have all this abundance. Look, sort of, I love this, just like petting of the little bunny here and the bunny and the deer. It's just like a very tender card. So because you have all this energy and light energy right now and love, really do what you can to share that outward. When we feel this like full cup, the cup runneth over, as we say, that's when we do need to be sharing out and finding appropriate funnels. As long as our reserves are staying fluid, then we're not going to be hurt by doing something like that. And then our last card here. So something to remember for this week. It says honesty is essential. And I'm getting really drawn to the mask. I'm thinking actually Phantom of the Opera when I see that, if that, relates to you in some way. And it says honesty is essential. Speak with love and truth. So if you're given an opportunity this week to speak your heart, speak your mind, then please, yeah, do so. That's why I'm telling you to stay in this higher vibration, because whenever that door opens, you're going to want to, be able to walk through it and not be scared of what's on the other side. So thank you so much. You're rocking at pile 2. I'm excited for you for this week. As I let the last group know, I have some new February love readings just because I know that a lot more people like thinking about relationships around this time and when Valentine's Day comes up. I may end up doing something for Valentine's Day. I may not. I'm sort of hearing that it might, but I haven't, landed on what it might be. So I'll let you know when that's clear to me, when that arrives. And yeah, until then, if you would like to book any sessions down below, you can. And please reach out to me if you have any questions or just are looking for some support on your spiritual journey. It's it's quite a long one, right? It's your whole life. So now we're moving on to pile 3. So thank you, pile 2. Pile 3, Aphrodite, inner goddess. Okay. I'm immediately getting a feeling of needing some sort of protection. I'm also getting that this is going to have something to do with romance. So I'm going to keep that there. Protection. Okay. Awaken the goddess within you through dance, self-care, and appreciating your divinity. And these 2 cards just fell out. I don't know if you saw that because I wasn't sure if it was on screen, but they just like fell off the top. So I'm going to take them. Okay, this makes a lot of sense. Pile 3. Okay, pile 3, you're getting an itchy nose. So I know who you are. If you're watching this one, I will laugh. You have to tell me every time the itchy nose thing comes up, you have to tell me if that was the card that you chose. Okay. Outrageous openness was this first one that I saw. I was very excited for you. It says, "Dear love, open me to your will. Release me from my attachments. Surprise and delight me with your plan. You know what's needed, and I am open to receive." And also individuality. So I really like this. It feels like with this group that actually you do have some love interests, and you also are feeling very, very like in your feminine and sort of embodied at this time. If you're not feeling that way, this might be, what's happening this week, what's about to happen for you, opening yourself up to really, really healthy sexual and sacral, creative expression. It might feel like you have a lot of things you want to, like you might just find yourself doodling or doing little art things. You might find yourself going back to stuff that, you used to love and you just hadn't picked up for a while. Let's see what's going on with this romance. It says every person has their own personalized study plan in this Earth school. And I really like that. I actually get the feeling for this group, like you're feeling like something's wrong or something's not working right now. Something feels like it's not working right. But I'm seeing this is such an opportunity for you to listen and go with the flow because it feels like you're also in a good flow. So it's very interesting. Okay, interesting. We have unrequited love and retreat. I'm getting this unrequited love and retreat. This is actually for me feeling about like your past. That feels like a past relationship. These came out separate from the other 3 cards that were all face down. And so this feels like past. This feels like what's coming forward. I haven't looked at those ones yet. So I feel like from your past, you actually, you maybe needed to walk away from something or someone walked away from you. It's like either or with this group. But in doing that, you actually kind of kept busy and didn't really stop and absorb how that felt. And so it's actually caused you to retreat from yourself. So this coming back into your feminine, back into your emotions and your self-expression and things like that, that's a new shift for you. And it's just letting you know this is why it wasn't your fault that you stepped away from that. And it is your choice if you want to continue engaging. You're never going to just stay in one feminine or one masculine energy consistently. We are always shifting. Same with the chakras. Whenever I do a chakra reading, I let the person know this is a snapshot of you right now in this energetic way that you're presenting at this moment. And then, after the session is done, I used to do, this is when I was doing in-person bodywork healing. After the session was done, I would show this is how everything has shifted. So you can see how possible it is to shift your own energy, which is a really powerful lesson, I think, personally. Okay, so let's see what is further going on with this love thing here for you, the current one. Okay, it says codependency. This feels like what you're healing, both of you are healing from the past, or potentially what you're both bringing up in each other, but what you're both triggering in each other. It says addictions are affecting your romantic life. And I am getting that there could also be thought addictions as part of this group. That really feels like a prevalent undercurrent this week is that addictive thoughts are sort of coming to the surface. We also have this could be the one. So whoever it is that you're thinking about in this romantic connection, really put some time and effort into considering, could this be someone that you consider your one, your person, your true connection? It says you've already met the romantic partners you seek, so it could also be something about, I think for some people, this love that felt unrequited in the past is actually going to return and weave back in some way. And then attraction, so that's always nice. We have some like pink or peach roses in there, which is lovely. It says you attract romantic love by enjoying this moment fully. Okay, so this is where it comes together, right? So the feminine energy being in balance before you felt like you maybe you needed someone to be there. And by the way, I'm saying feminine, but I know that you can be whichever, whatever gender or at gender expression that you decide you feel is right. So, yeah, just put that part out. But the feminine side of you, the energetic feminine, was actually more weak before. And so it was sort of reaching and hoping for masculine structure or masculine energies to ground you and to give you a place to land so you could then figure out how you wanted to move forward. Now you've actually done some, transition into the masculine, and now you've got more of a healthy feminine expression. And so you're actually allowed to relax, enjoy, receive. You can trust yourself that your masculine side is going to take care of you now. It's almost like before both the masculine and feminine were underdeveloped. So you thought, oh, I've just got to focus on the feminine. But actually, you did focus on getting some things done, getting some structures in order, some systems in place, or made some big moves. Like you made some big decisions, is what I'm hearing. And so now you can actually look at this new or returning romantic situation with a new lens of actually, I can trust myself in this. I think there was maybe a lack of trust in your own feminine energy. So you might have worried that you would be controlling or put rules in place or confine it in some way or I don't know, there's just some sort of shadow part of you that you were concerned was going to come out if you allowed your emotions to surface with this person. But now that you've stepped into that on your own, you realize that's a safe place to be in your feminine energy. Now when this person comes back, it'll kind of feel different because there's again this like outrageous openness, like a really really different, you can stand on your individuality. You're not trying to shift who you are to match them or to blend with them or anything like that. That creates a much stronger connection, a much stronger presence for all involved. So one more card here for you. Pile three. So Whispers of Love card, and I do love this deck a lot. Speaking of love, I'm starting to do love-specific readings for a special price for February. So you can go check those out. They're on my website. You can book a little reading with me that we specifically focus on you and your person, the love connection. Usually what I do when I read for people is, you, the shared energy, and them. And so I give you an explanation from, that way back to you so that by the end of the session, you should know how you are meant to operate or feel and, move forward in your romantic connection. Okay. So, and if you're single too, sometimes we can see, what's coming on the horizon. So whatever your situation is, or if you're polyamorous too, there's lots of different ways relationships can work. It could even be about a parent or work relationship. But I love doing readings about people and helping us gain understanding and compassion for the other side and the things that we don't see and the things that we need to see in ourselves as well as it relates to that person. Okay, I love this. Be supportive. This is your one action that you can take this week when this love connection returns or when you feel, this message pops up. Again, you take what resonates and remember that time is fluid and, can shift and all these things and isn't really real in the first place. So it says, be supportive, make a genuine effort to show that you care. So that is your, that's your parting message. Make an effort to show that you care and make it genuine. Really allow yourself to be safe to express your genuine care this week without regard for how that lands in the other person. This is about your own individual self-expression. Okay, thank you, pile three. Again, if you would like to book any readings, I have them listed down below. Please, if you have, gotten to this point in the video and you're not liking and subscribing, I would love if you could do so. It really helps the channel grow, helps people see this message, and yeah, it helps everyone sort of feel more balanced. So thank you so much for that, and we will see you soon. Take care.